Take two. Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing my face product declutter. So today we are wrapping up with powder, bronzers, and highlights. Let's jump in. I'm excited about this.
It's beauty on the brain.
Let's get started. I think we're going to start with these two. These are practically new, brand new to my collection. These are the Bare Minerals. What are these called? The Bare Minerals highlighting blushes. Anyway, these are two of the new Bare Minerals highlighting blushes. I have the shades Opal Glow and Rose Glow. Rose Glow is really different. As far as my highlighters yes, as far as my highlighters go, this one has my thumbnail imprint in it now, but it's also got a lot of blue reflect in it, which you wouldn't think, but it's a little icier than its companion in Opal Glow, which you will see momentarily. Let me adjust my lighting, see if you can't. Oh, that might be better. Yeah, that's a little better. But that is Rose Glow. And here we have Opal Glow. This is the one that I have had longer and have used more, but I do enjoy them both. You can see how Opal Glow just has a tiny bit more beige, where Rose Glow is obviously a little cooler. This is a lovely formula if you like a subtle highlight, which at my age, I do. Let's talk, let's go high end. Let's do all of my high end and then we'll do indie and mid range because I only have three more. Becca was high end, they no longer exist, but this was the first high end full size product I ever bought myself. This is one of the Becca highlighters in Lilac Geode. This is staying simply for sentimental reasons, but it's also still really pretty. It has not gone off. It's a little dustier than it might have been, and it's maybe not as vibrant, but I still think it's really pretty, and I like what it adds to my collection. We'll do Charlotte here momentarily. NARS Fort de France. This is the closest you're going to see me wear to anything resembling a gold highlight. And even it is more champagne than anything. The last three in this category, this is the easiest, shortest category to do, are these three. So we have two indie, we have Copacetic and IBY Beauty. And then I don't know where Nabla falls. I don't know if they're still considered indie because they've been in and out of Ulta. Regardless, this highlight is a stunner. So this is the shade Privilege. I was just watching Teresa is Dead and she actually decluttered this because I am not as uncooked chicken as she is. It's a little peach, it's a little champagne, it's even a little pink. And it's hard to clock if you're wearing highlight or not, especially if you use this with a sponge or a more densely packed brush. It's not going to settle into fine lines. Let's talk about this one because this may end up getting decluttered. It is pretty old. This is one of the first products that I fell in love with out of a subscription box. This is the Radiant Glow highlighter from IBY Beauty in the shade Bubbly. I have had this highlighter in other shades and I don't like it as much. This is a special shade, and I'm also wanting to compare it to Opal Glow from Bare Minerals. You can see there, it's definitely a highlight that's got a lot of peach in it. It's got a lot of backing color, and it's also really subtle. Now, looking at it, I think it's lost a lot of its shine. It is not nearly as bright and as vibrant as it used to be. And I think it might be time to put this in the declutter box and lovingly order myself a new one. This one, however, this is from Copacetic. I had the pleasure of meeting the owner of Copacetic last summer when I went to the Indie Polish and Beauty Expo in Chicago. Now, this is one of those highlights that can and will give you that talking to them, you can see it from space kind of highlight. I don't like it like that. I like this a little more sheared out. I use this as an eyeshadow. I use it as a highlight on a very light brush. And you can see there why. It is bright and shiny. It's possibly too dark for me to actually get away with as a highlight, but I don't care. I usually load a little bit of blush on top of my highlight anyway. So if it's too dark, it'll get worked in to my blush. But it's super cute. This is the Perfect Glow highlighter in the shade Henna. And Copacetic is a really small indie brand. I talked about their eyeshadows earlier in this series. These are definitely worth a mention too. Moving along to bronzers and contours. I have even fewer of these than I do highlighters. Let's talk about these. Let's discuss this first. This is one of the Kaleidos Symphony Contour Trios in the shade Light. I bought this back when I was looking for a powder contour that would be light enough on my skin, and these were just coming to market. This one is just too gray. It's too gray. It is like cool tone gray. It is very light and very fair and very lightly pigmented. So I can see how it would work for some people. I just don't think I'm those people. The deeper shade, I can mess with. I like the deeper shade, but it's not worth hanging on to this little trio because I like the deeper shade, and the powder is one of the mattest, most bulletproof powders in my collection. That doesn't mean I want to keep it. I'm actually more than okay letting this go and passing it on to a friend. It is still in good condition. A contour that I have absolutely fallen in love with. This is from Oma. This is their Double Take Sculpting and Bronzing Powder in the lightest shade White Pearl. And you look at that color next to my skin and your brain goes, that's not going to show up. It doesn't really show up. It just warms up the skin and makes you look like your skin is alive. And that is the kind of contour I go for most of the time. If I need one that's deeper, I will use Charlotte Tilbury. Suddenly realizing I forgot to swatch her. So let's do her next. Again, we have relatively light pigmentation, but if you look at it in comparison to this one from Kaleidos, it's a lot less gray, it's a little warmer, and it is actually a much more believable light contour on my fair to light skin. And I have Pan, so I obviously love her very much. This is a newer one to my collection, and honestly, it surprised the dickens out of me. This is from the Balm. This is Take Home the Bronze Anti-Orange Bronzer in the shade Olivier or Oliver. I'm calling it Olivier because I'm a snob. So if we're looking at this in context, it's a little closer to the deep shade from the Kaleidos, but it's definitely got more green than the Charlotte Tilbury, which surprises me, honestly. However, as far as a bronzer goes, this is one of the most neutral bronzers in my collection because I am fair to like pink slash peach toned. I have a hard time with bronzers not looking too green on me. And this is one of the ones that's actually going to be the most neutral moving forward. Speaking of, let's just tackle the rest of these. Gucci, I love this bronzer. It's so pretty. I have issues with the packaging. I'm not sure if my packaging pet peeves is going up before or after this, but you will hear all about it in that video. However, the product, oh my goodness. She is sheer, she is cool toned, really, really just ethereal and beautiful. And this is in the lightest shade, which I believe is 1. Hourglass. I love this little bronzer. It's a mini. It was about 20 bucks. And honestly, I wish they would make more of their powder products in this size. It's not a small pan by any stretch of the imagination. It's also a little rosy. It's not quite as rosy as the Gucci. In fact, I think it's a little more neutral. And it has that swirl in it that just gives it the prettiest finish on the skin. This is one that I have had for a while, and I will continue to use it until it is no longer usable, and then I'll buy another because this is one that I cannot see not having in my collection. Again, Nabla, I'm not sure where they fall as far as price point, but I know that I like their formulas. I've tried their face products, and I have one of their brow pencils, which is fine, but their cheek products is really where they shine. These swatches are messy as all get out. So I will say this. I have had this for a number of years, and it's feeling a little patchy. It's not patchy to the point where it's unusable. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that in comparison to the others, especially NARS. NARS really shows its true colors when it's put up against something that has that much more green in it. So this is a good early winter bronze for me, and now I'm starting to see why. It really is interesting when you take bronzers and swatch them side by side by side, what colors come out by comparison. That being said, she'll stay until I'm ready to replace her. And last but not least, I love my Hourglass. I love my NARS. I love my Gucci. This Make bronzer changed my relationship with bronzers. This is from Make Beauty. This is their Skin Mimetic Micro Suede Bronzer in the shade Lunar. And I will tell you, when I opened this and swatched it, I was like, that is orange. That is not going to work on me. It is orange. Well, I'll tell you, this is this is my perfect summer bronze tone. That is what I look like. That is the color my skin turns when I have a natural summer tan. And it is easy for me to say that this is the bronzer that reshaped the way that my my brain perceives color in bronzers. It's also, I don't know if I mentioned this with the blushes, all of Make Beauty's stuff is removable. I probably mentioned that in my Make Beauty review. I know I did, but it bears repeating because it's a fantastic feature. Make Beauty is gonna stay. And that was a super short declutter. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And I hope you are taking extra good care of yourself so you can take care of each other. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye, friends. Ow.